The Polish parliament began its first session by imprisoning two members, Mariusz Kamiński and Maciej Wąsik. President Andrzej Duda and MPs from the Law and Justice Party have demanded their release, but the current government does not recognise their 2015 pardon. In addition, politicians from the ruling majority mock the dramatic situation of prisoners' families. MPs of the largest opposition party, Law and Justice, spoke about the absence of the illegally imprisoned MPs and the reason for their imprisonment. It was a fight against corruption.
A wasi politycy za korupcję dostają nagrody.
And your politicians receive awards for corruption. Where is Włodzimierz Karpiński, accused of bribery in the European Parliament by decision of Speaker Hołownia? Where are Stanisław Gawłowski, Tomasz Grodzki, Roman Giertych, who are facing serious charges in Parliament?
Na których ciążą poważne zarzuty.
In 2021, Donald Tusk said of Sławomir Nowak, who has been charged with 17 crimes by both the Polish and Ukrainian prosecutors' offices, that he is a political prisoner. Now the politicians of Tusk's coalition do not want to talk about the political issues in the cases of Wąsik and Kamiński. These are people who have done so much harm to other people that other people have been imprisoned as political prisoners, so they do not deserve this title in any way. The prisoners' wives appeared in the Sejm. We are here, where our illegally imprisoned husbands should be, members of the Sejm of the Republic of Poland.
Bezprawnie osadzoni w zakładzie karnym. Dziękuję bardzo.
We demand the immediate release of our husbands, Maciej Wąsik and Mariusz Kamiński. However, the situation of the woman amuses members of the civic platform.
Nie będzie miała pani żadnych...
You won't feel any remorse when you look these ladies in the eye?
A dlaczego ja mam mieć wyrzuty sumienia? Ja już mam.
And why should I feel guilty? I already hope that both men's wives are warm and that they already know how to turn up the heating at home to keep warm.
Ogrzewanie w domu, żeby było ciepło. No,
Naprawdę naprawdę.
Are you really speaking such words to wives who have lost their husbands overnight, taken to illegal detention? Sir, there are about 68,000 prisoners in prison here, husbands and wives, and the question is whether you feel sorry for all the wives and husbands in prison.
Różnych żon i jest pytanie, czy pan żałuje wszystkich żon, wszystkich mężów.
Panie są...
The ladies are the wives of illegally imprisoned members of the Sejm who have been conducting a hunger protest for a week, and any jokes about it are simply inappropriate. Even her coalition partners criticise the ruling camp MPs.
Wypada takie zachowanie posłowi, taki poziom?
Pewnie by oczekiwał.
Is such behaviour appropriate for an MP? I believe that every person deserves respect, regardless of whether we respect the judgments or disagree with them. I would expect that in addition to this assessment of political activity, there would also be a human one. Was it missing? It's worth being decent, and these are not matters worth mocking or laughing at.
Drwić czy też uśmiechać.
There are also legal matters that require clarification.
Jeżeli chodzi o ułaskawienie...
When it comes to the president's pardon, why doesn't Donald Tusk recognise it?
Tusk go nie uznaje.
Proszę Państwa, to jest pytanie.
We need to ask Donald Tusk why he does not recognise the legal order in Poland at all, because he really does not, and apparently, from Mr. Weber's words, it is clear that Tusk has the support of the European Union, which is proof that the entire fight of the European Union for the rule of law in Poland was one big joke.
Ta walka Unii Europejskiej o praworządność w Polsce była jedną wielką komedią.
The knowledge of the constitution of the MPs of the current government is also questionable, as they were unable to justify their arguments questioning the validity of the pardon of MPs Wąsik and Kamiński in 2015 by President Andrzej Duda. There is no time frame in the Constitution. There is a certain practice. But what practice based on what provision of the Constitution? Without any provision of the Constitution. And where is the Constitution? In the case of law, please educate yourself. Will you make law on the basis of case law and not the Constitution? We put it from our heads and from our own heads. And excuse me, from head to toe. This is how you understand them?
Z faktami nikt nie powinien tutaj dyskutować.
A który zapis Konstytucji mówi, że ułaskawienie ma normy
I don't think anyone should argue with the facts here. And which provisions of the Constitution say that pardons have time limits? There is practice, there are statements of many professors, but there is a constitution, yes. The Constitution says it clearly. The President has the right to apply the law of pardon. The act of pardon is not limited either in time or in substance, unlike other constitutions in the past, e.g. the April one, where only final judgments were mentioned. In the current state, there is no such limitation. However, the current government applies the law as it understands it.
Problem jest taki, że ułaskawić...
The problem is you can only pardon a person who's been legally convicted. But where is such a provision in the Constitution? But it doesn't have to be a provision in the Constitution. Yes, it has to be. The Constitution is the supreme law. I know that you want to try the other way here, but it won't help. We want it to be legal.
Chcemy, żeby było zgodnie z prawem.
Because you can't say something is prohibited when the law doesn't say so. Therefore, it cannot be said that the President could not have pardoned the deputies earlier because there is no such provision in the Constitution. And the Constitution is the highest legal act in our country. The President himself said that he freed the judicial system from this case. He said so because he pardoned him. He used the provisions of the Constitution. Well, we have different interpretations here. But you can't interpret the law the way you like, as Donald Tusk said. Exactly. That's why I'm talking about what the constitutionalists are talking about. I'm talking about what the Constitution says. And yet, with the Constitution on its banner, the current government entered the October election. Moreover, they also talked about culture many times, and this was definitely missing from the Minister of Culture, Bartłomiej Sienkiewicz, who did not bother to stand up during the national anthem.